what's up? We're back with more Alya sometimes hides her feelings in Russian episode 3. So last episode, I actually really liked episode 2. I found it entertaining and there was some good jokes and the character dynamics, I was like starting to get them a bit more and find out what feels a bit more unique about the series. It also did have like a pretty good twist, I would say, in that like the girl who was like set up as a childhood friend was his sister. However, I'm nervous about the twist still. Like I'm still nervous like at what that could potentially mean for the series, but it should be fine. I don't know. I hope the series doesn't make it too weird. I guess that's just all I mean. Like I think it was a cool twist because like the way I see the twist working really nicely is, hey, this is the childhood friend, but ta-da, she actually isn't even in the running because they're siblings, and it's like the reason they're so close is because they're siblings, and so, you know, that's it. But the idea that she like is still continuously pretending to be in the running is funny, but I don't know. Like I'm worried about where that could take us. But I hope it will be fine. We'll see. But I mean, so far the show has been very entertaining and I'm liking it. So let's see what this has in store for us in episode 3. Make sure to support the video if you can, liking the video, commenting down below, subscribing to the channel. All that stuff helps me out a lot. And if you want, you can go to my Patreon account, which has the full-length reactions as well as early access for certain shows, exclusive videos for both this channel and my Gent Watches One Piece channel. There's so much content on there. It's honestly insane how much content there is. So go check that out. But otherwise, let's jump into this. This is Alya sometimes hides her feelings in Russian, episode 3. And so they met. Masha. They look very different to each other. I wonder why. She doesn't ever blurt out her feelings here at home where they probably know Russian, right? Yeah, that doesn't really answer the question. Doesn't matter what your relationship is now, do you like him? Oh, I like that she's proud of that. 6 years ago. Vladis was got doc. Oh, I wonder how painful this is for people who actually speak Russian. It sounds like they have a thick Japanese accent. But I can't speak Russian, so I'm not sure. Without knowing Russian, I feel like Alya's Russian sounds the best, but I don't know. This guy's doing the killer pose. She's advanced. So she's a very serious, hard-working person, and always has been, even if it broke her relationships. Aww. Crazy how she thinks in Japanese. Alright. I get her character. I'm on board now. Okay. Gotcha. That's why she thinks in Japanese. So her first time talking to him was scolding him. What a middle name. You see how much of a slacker he is and everything? He's being lazy on the marathon. Sleeping through math.
九条さんまだ帰らないの？ええ、もう少しやっていくから。
Damn.
そう？
You can't work on that at home? You can't bring it home?
でもたかが学園祭じゃん。
And other people aren't taking it seriously. Oh, is he gonna be here? Working on something?
ないんだから。
Oh, he is here.
あとこれ合宿所の使用許可。
Oh.
泊まりがけのイベントならモチベ下がってる奴らもやる気になるだろう。
He
合宿所って
works smarter, not harder.
元生徒とにかく今日はもう帰りなって。
He's
九条さん
taking it seriously in his own
仕
way.
方ないだろう。
仕方ないって何？
Oh.
私はでもそんなの私のわがままだって分かってる。みんな私何か間違ったことしてる？
努力の方向性が間違ってるだろう。学園祭の出し物は一人で作るもんじゃない。
That's
みん
true.
なでいかにみんなをやる気にさせるかを考えるべき。
That's true.
そんなの。
って言ってもこんな言い方されたら。
See, I love the way he talks to her. It's realistic and reassuring.
悪かった。
And he's nice. He apologizes.
帰るわ。
Good. That's what he wanted.
お疲れ様。
なんなのよもう。
I mean, he talked to you like you're a human being and took your feelings into account, but also tried to help you.
なんなのよ。
I like the way that was written. Pre. Oh. Everyone's motivated. I like this music. Aww. And look how happy she is. Aww. Nice. They did it all together. Cute. Look at the dance.
しかしてフォークダンス踊れないとか？
失礼ね。これでも小さい頃はバレエをやって
That
た。
doesn't mean you know how to folk
あの
dance.
程度の。
九条さん最近他の生徒にそう呼ばれてるんだけど。
Makes sense.
なんかあんまり。
Classic Japanese
そう
nickname.
ね。私が気に入らないのはお姫様の。
Wow.
普通に褒め言葉じゃん。
苦労知ら
That
ずの
means
ため
I'm,
の
yeah,
住人
stuck up.
みたい人並み以上のものを持って生まれたわ。でもそれにあぐらをかいたことなんて一度もない。
That's true. You worked hard to get where you are.
ありがとうね、クゼ君。
Aww.
何が？
こんな気持ちで学園祭を過ごす。
Now I'm proud of her
なかったと
for
思うから。
for thanking him for that.
それとあの時やつあた
These characters are good.
す
They
んなって。
communicate.
俺は軽い手続きをしただけで。
何か希望はある？
俺ね。
A
いらない
kiss,
とかいう
please.
答えはなしよ。
なんか特殊な相性で呼び合う習慣があった。
Ah,
何いきなり。
diminutives.
アーリャよ。家族には。
Cool. So that's why he calls her Alya.
ありゃ呼びする権利をもらおうか。
That's
何それ。
that's a very sweet gift.
みんなだけ相性を呼びする男としてエースにいる。
ばっかじゃないの。
I like that. That's cute.
よかったら僕と踊ってくれませんか？
Oh my god, don't yell it at her. Jesus
ごめんな
Christ.
さい。
Sorry, guys. She's dancing with
あな
me.
たたち。
悪い戦略だ。
That's sweet, but
行
also
こうぜ。
ちょっと。
if she doesn't want to dance, I think she'll like it. But this doesn't solve her problem.
ええ。
それじゃあ
Prove
お手
it.
並み拝見と行こうか。お姫様。
Make it fun for her by challenging her. That's cute. This is a cute episode.
このクズ。
当たり強くない？
And Russian?
フチュラビュータキム
Yeah.
シンパチーチンだのね。素敵。だから違
That is
う
cute.
って。友達から恋人へ。
It's a great progression as well. When you go friends to lovers, you're a lot closer generally. Sakun?
のろけなら出て行ってくれる？
That's
あなたがクゼ君？ 私はマリア・ミハイロブナク女。
Maria.
アーリャちゃん
Oh,
の姉で
yeah. So you're
生徒会
Masha.
席よ。よろしくね。
Got it.
アーリャちゃんのお友達なら私にとってもお友達だもの。
That's cute. Oh no. Don't get in the running, Masha. What? Did you fall in love with him? You're the one who initiated the hand
下
holding.
のお名前マサチカ。
どうした？
Masachika.
後ろに何
Wait,
かついてるか？会長。
is it something to do with
顔に
Sakun?
何かついてるか？
ごめんなさい。この人がアーリャちゃんのお友達なのねと思って。
What's going on there?
すいません。何ですか？
Yeah. What the fuck?
行きましょうかって言っただけなの。
ああ、はい。
それじゃ
Oh
あ
right, I
会
didn't
長
even realize she said it in Russian.
頼んだ。そういうのは自分の部屋で。
この猫ちゃんのぬいぐるみ、アー
Aww.
リャちゃんにそっくり。
Does it?
そうだ、どうかしら。
どこの夢の国ですか？
こっちのメガネをかけたライオンさんね。
似てるな。いや似てるけども、ぬいぐるみは普通。
How much are these plushies? They're quite big.
レシート一緒にしたら会計のアーレに叱られますよ。
She's cute.
ダメだ。
ありがとう。じゃあ、アーリャニャンをよろしくね。
Alya Russian. Cute.
アーリアに
あら、似合うわ。
どんな感性しとんですか？ごめんなマサチカ。父さんと母さん、これからは別々に暮らすことになった。
Okay. So did he go with dad and she stayed with mom?
私はこ
Yeah.
の家に残るね。
So they had very different upbringings. Interesting backstories. Like that we're getting these backstories this early
なんで
on.
も
What? Girl?
いいんだよ。
Oh, well that's cute.
なんだこの子。
It's cute, but you're doing it with your
懐かしいような
younger sister's crush.
背中に当たって。
Oh, don't drop it! Oh my god. Okay, ED with a new cover, right? They have a new cover every ED? I bet the last ED is the only one that I'm gonna recognize. Oh, this sounds kind of familiar. It's really cute. I like the visuals. Focusing on the two sisters. Aww. It sounds vaguely familiar, but not incredibly familiar. Cute. I'm really loving the different ED every episode thing. That just gives me something to look forward to every ending. That's so great. That is so great. I know it's a lot of work to do something like that, but it's so satisfying that I wish more shows did it. I think Chainsaw Man is the only show that I can think of that did that. I'm trying to think of any other show that did that. Like, there are some shows that kind of don't have endings and they kind of use the endings of the show to be the ending. Like, you know, things that are happening at the show to be the ending. But to actually make, you know, 12, 13 different EDs for the show, I absolutely adore that. And I can't think of any other shows other than Chainsaw Man. And Chainsaw Man, I loved that about it. That was so exciting. Every week, like, it would be like, oh man, the episode's over. However, I get to watch this cool ED and you get to take it in and you get a chance to discover a new song that you like. And I'm also someone who I love OPs and EDs and I watch them every time, you know, because I like taking in details over time. But also, I like when OPs and EDs change, even if it changes from an OP or ED that I loved, like that was my favorite one ever, you know. I like when they change because I get something new and the old one I can still go back and watch if I want, and I have another chance to fall in love with something else. So it's really, really great, you know. There was like in One Piece, there's like obviously a bunch of OPs in One Piece, right? And I'm on episode 500 and something, 520 something or something. And there's an issue with One Piece where like they it's a bit of an older show. The earlier episodes are an older show, and since they came to Crunchyroll and Netflix and stuff, Crunchyroll and Netflix don't have the rights to all of the OPs. So because of that, some of the OPs aren't on there, and so instead you will have a few of the OPs will just be extended. So instead of being on for 50 episodes, they're on for like 150, 200 episodes, and it's the same OP for that long. And like, even though like the main one was one of the OPs, Jungle P, like that was on for a very, very long time because there were several OPs between them, but they didn't get the rights to them, so they just had to play Jungle P. And that kind of sucked. Even though Jungle P is amazing, it's a great opening. I really love it. I love the song. I love the visuals of that OP. It's a top tier OP. And yet, I was like, I want freshness. I want new stuff. And I watched the other OPs, but I wanted to have them before every episode, you know? So I like when shows are constantly changing out, but some people, like, they like a song in a show or whatever, and they want to keep it for the entire time. You can have a nice, like, middle ground where you have something like Hunter x Hunter, which Hunter x Hunter has the same opening song for every episode for 130 or whatever, however many episodes there are. But they sort of change it between two different versions of the song, you know, two different verses, I guess, of the song. And they change the visuals every arc, which is good. So, like, you still get something fresh every arc, but it's the same song, so those people who are super in love with the song get that. And I like that, although, you know, like, I did really like it, but at the same time, I think I would have also been very happy if we got a bunch of different songs for Hunter x Hunter, because I would have been curious what they would have chosen for different songs. Anyway, that's talking a lot about the OP and ED. The actual episode, this was a cute episode. I'm kind of surprised at, like, this show doing this kind of episode in an episode 3. It kind of makes me feel like they are showing us the show's strengths, or at least some of the show's strengths. Like, they're trying to show it off early, because some of these shows, what they'll do, I feel like, is they'll want to, in these earlier episodes, establish sort of a format, you know, and then they save, like, special episodes for the finale. But I feel like this episode felt like a pretty special episode, because we got, like, if they had this episode, or the story from this episode as the finale, I wouldn't have batted an eyelash. Like, that I would have been like, yeah, that makes sense. This is a finale type story to see how these two properly met and how she fell for him. They could have saved that for at any time, but I like, you know, having episode 1, we just kind of see how a normal episode might be. And then episode 2, we get some extra funny things, we set up some gags, whatever. Episode 3, we start actually telling a story that's going on here, which, you know, we tell the backstory, and then we also got a little bit of Masachika's backstory in here with him. You know, his parents split up, and it seems like he and his sister split up a little bit as well, in that they stayed with different parents. And I think that's kind of nice. I feel like also, I don't know why I feel this way, but I feel like with these sorts of romance shows, like the more, you know, I'm just gonna say generic-ish romance shows, like the ones that there's a bunch of these types of shows, you know, like a special girl who has a gimmick, it comes to the school or is in the school, and there's like the kind of relatively normal guy who's there as well, and it's the thing, you know, there's a lot of these sorts of shows. Komi can't communicate. Aharon is indecipherable. Those two are very similar shows because they both have a similar concept. But you got like those. You got shit. Doesn't matter. It's not coming to me right now. But you can look it up. It's a whole subgenre. Toradora in a way, I guess. But that is quite different in the way that that's set up. But anyway, point is, I don't watch a decent amount of those shows because I see them pop up in on like seasonals and stuff, and I generally will not. I won't bother with it, not because I don't like them necessarily, but because I tend to not love them unless I hear that there's something really special about them, you know? So I tend to wait, and then eventually people go, actually, this one was really, really good, and then I'll check it out. But I think I did Alya-san because it was Doga Kobo. I think that was the only reason. Maybe. And I guess I'd also heard about the manga. Like, I'd heard people talk about it, and so I don't know what they were talking about it. I don't know if people were saying it was good necessarily, but generally when I hear people talking about a series before it comes out, it's because it has some sort of hype behind it, or some people really liked it, or there was something special about it. So I wanted to give it a shot, and I like it so far. I think it's good, but I enjoyed this. I'm continuing. I mean, my favorite part about this show continues to be Masachika. I think this is an extremely surprising development for me. In, like, if you watch my channel, or if you've seen this channel or my Gent Watches One Piece channel, you'll know I tend to get attached to the female characters of the show. I tend to fall in love with them. I tend to have them as my favorite characters, you know? I've got, like, figures up here, and, like, you know, merch up here. I got, like, a Nami can. I can't, like, move a lot of them, but I got, like, what's her name? Why can't I remember her name right now? From Jujukai. I got Mocha from Bang Dream. Like, I got these, you know, figures up here. Most of the figures are in a different room, but and they are all female. I do have some male things. Like, I have can I even take this off the door? I have Haikyuu boy. So I do have some male things, but it's like vast majority of it is female characters. And that's because I tend to get really attached to female characters a lot, not just out of like attraction, but also out of like protectiveness and just like some wiring in my brain. A lot of important women in my life as well. So I think that also helps. Like, I've just become accustomed to like caring about the women around me, and so because of that, I care about female characters in series. So for a show like this to have like a pretty normal main dude who is also, I think, my favorite character in the show is very impressive, and I think that speaks to his writing, because I feel like he's a normal guy who just is reasonable. And he's not like cartoonishly reasonable, you know? Like, he's not like a goody two-shoes necessarily. He definitely isn't. I mean, they've said he's a slacker, and he's not necessarily like the dickhead with a heart of gold or anything. He's just a straight up normal dude with some flaws, and he's just cool. So I'm really enjoying him, and his conversations with Alya are really great, because I feel like I'm not sitting there going like, oh, why are you saying that? Or like, oh, come on, just say how you feel or whatever. I feel like he's just talking to her how a guy should talk to a girl. And it's really refreshing and nice to see. And then, you know, she'll be very tsundere a lot of the time, but also she will be surprisingly reasonable a lot of the other time, and I appreciate that as well. So it's kind of breaking through my expectations a bit, you know? Like, I don't think I've been blown away by anything in this show, but I don't need to be. I feel like I have been consistently mildly impressed with all of it. Like, every episode I've gone, oh wow, they did that nicely. Oh, that was nice, you know, that was good. So I feel like this show is just like, it's taken something that could have been very mediocre and just elevated it to a good series, a series that I'm very much enjoying. So I can't wait to watch more. I also liked the conversation, or the things that Alya said in the middle-ish, where she was talking about how, like, yes, I know I was born with good looks, and I was born into I can't remember what else she said, but I was born into a privileged life, essentially. But I don't like when people act like that's, you know, the reason I'm where I'm at and stuff. basically she's like privileged but hardworking. Like she does work really hard even though she has been blessed, and I love that theme because I really enjoyed it. I mean, I'm a very, very, very privileged person, and I'm not. I don't think I'm as hardworking as Alya, but you know, I do work hard on like these videos. For example, I put out a lot of videos on this channel on Gent Watches One Piece. Like I do all this stuff myself, so I do work quite a bit, and I try very hard at a lot of stuff. So I do kind of relate, where it's like when something happens to me that's lucky or as a result of my circumstance, I recognize that I am so incredibly lucky, but at the same time, I'm still trying very hard with a lot of stuff. Same with like my mental state. Like I'm a very positive person, and a lot of people think, well, that's just who he is. He is just a positive person, and that's like, you know, so he doesn't understand how we feel when we're feeling down or whatever. And I don't think that's entirely true. I am lucky in that my circumstances and my situations allow me to be able to handle my mindset better. But at the same time, I still work at that. You know, I still got myself to this point by like focusing on my own mental health and figuring out what was best for me and trying to improve myself consistently. And making sure that like I know the person I am right now is not the person I'll be in 10 years. The person I'll be in 10 years, if I'm doing this correctly, will be way better. A much better person. I am trying very hard to be as good a person as I can be right now, but I can constantly be improving, and I should be. And so I try really hard with that stuff, and so there's a part of me that wants other people to recognize that, and I think Ali is very similar, but she does it with her hard work rather than like improving herself as a person. She works hard at her skills, at things around her, at making sure anything she has a part in is really good. So I enjoy that. I liked that little concept for her because it also reminds me of, I think Jack Quaid did an interview recently where Jack Quaid is an actor. He's the main character of The Boys. He plays Huey in The Boys. And he is the son of Dennis Quaid, who is a famous actor as well. And he, in an interview recently, was like, yeah, I am a Nepo baby. I have been blessed with nepotism. Obviously, part of the reason that I am where I am today is because of my family. However, I think I deserve to be here, and I work hard at it. So I don't feel like that devalues my accomplishments. And I really, really like that he said that, because I think that's perfect. That's the perfect response to something like that. Acknowledge that you are privileged and you're in a great place, that other people don't have that opportunity, but also acknowledge that you're making the most of that as best you can, and that's a good thing too. You know, it's not bad to be privileged. It's just something that you have to recognize and then move forward with your life. So yeah, it was great. Anyway, that is Alya Sometimes Hides Her Feelings in Russian, episode 3. Thank you for joining me. Go to my Patreon account if you want the full-length reaction and early access exclusive videos. Go to my One Piece channel, Gent Watches One Piece, for One Piece content. And just like the video, comment your favorite part. Any of that stuff helps me out a lot and helps me to keep doing these series and these videos. But thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.